Hi there everyone, welcome back to another video. I have a great topic today, and I actually was inspired by someone that left a comment on one of my YouTube videos. This person had asked if I would do a video sharing my beauty and self-care routine, like a schedule of when I do things. For example, haircuts, color, nails, and I thought, genius, I love this. I would love watching a video on that topic by other women. So it really inspired me to do that. I actually squeezed it in because I just didn't want to wait. I just thought this is so great. So I just want you to know, I love when you guys share what you want to see because it's inspiring to me. I mean, there are so many things that I can do videos on. It's endless, but once in a while, someone will come up with something and I will just be like, that is genius. I love it. So thank you. So let's talk about that because I am a routine person. I live by a pretty tight schedule and I'm just a regimented type of person in general. All the things that I do really are pretty much on a schedule, and I'm going to share a few tips along the way. I'm going to break it down into categories, but the very first thing that I want to say is we are all busy. I know for me, I am hustling all the time, and I don't say that negatively, I say that positively because I love what I do in every area. I love being a wife, mother, I love being a working mom, I love being a career woman, and I love running my own business. So I'm loving the hustle. I think it's when you don't love the hustle, that's when it's a problem. But when you love it, it's just, I don't know, you just love it. But I'm very busy and it's hard to make it to everything. So one of the things that I do, and I highly recommend this, is stack your appointments. I tend to get my lashes filled on the same day I do nails, or nails the same day I do hair, whatever. There are some days that I have 3 beauty appointments all in one day. And yes, it can be expensive, but if you budget like I do, and I have all of those videos out there, including Tracy's little luxury envelopes, it'll be easy. It's a no-brainer. But stack your appointments to save time. It saves gas, it saves time. You're already out. A lot of these days you're not wearing makeup because who's going to wear makeup if they're getting their lashes done? So pay attention, stack your appointments. And if you're someone who's always looking way in advance, like I am, I have my appointments scheduled for probably the next 2-3 months for pretty much everything. So highly recommend doing that. And another way that you can do that is always have your calendar with you when you make appointments, and make sure that at your appointment, you're making your next 1 or 2. For example, when I get my hair done, I make my next 1 or 2 appointments. If I know I have to get in, let's say 2 months from now, I know I have to get in and I could be working around a couple obstacles like vacations, I'll book my appointment 2 months out. When I do my med spa appointments, I have lashes in there and I have hydrofacial, and I'll talk about when I do those in just a moment. But I book all of those appointments about 2 months out because some people are really client heavy. And if they are, you're not going to get your sweet spot time because you're competing with other people, especially if you have to do evening or weekend appointments. That's going to be really tough because many women work and they need those appointments as well. So let's dive into what I get done and what my schedule and routine is for beauty and self-care. Starting with body. Dry brushing, that's a biggie, and I do have a blog post that talks all about dry brushing. I try to do that every single day. Exfoliating, I always do this when I'm going to self-tan. If I'm not self-tanning currently, then I would say I exfoliate my body about once a week. And let me just share that all the products that I use or recommend, like maybe if it's something I've used in the past, but I'm trying something new now, so I recommend something, I'm going to have links to everything. I'm not going to take the time to show all the products. I have all of that in other videos. This is really a routine schedule, but all the products will be listed in the drop down. And I always encourage you to click that top link, which takes you to the corresponding blog post, because I can give you a lot more information there. But yeah, exfoliating, I do that at least once a week. I shave daily, but let me share that I did have laser hair removal. Well, I was pregnant with PIPs when I was going through it, so it would have been like maybe almost between 13 and 14 years ago. I had laser hair removal. So there's certain areas of my body that I don't really have to shave every single day, but my legs I do, and then the areas that I can go a little bit longer. It may be more like once a week. I moisturize daily. So that would really be everything that has to do with body. Other than that, I really don't do anything. I don't get massages. I've never really gotten into any of that. Sticking with body, let's move on to self-tan. I used to self-tan year-round, but I have switched that to more just spring to fall because it's so much upkeep. And I'm not going to go into the whole routine of self-tanning. I just did a video last week, and I'll have that linked up here. You can click up here, but it'll also be in the drop down. So if you want to know my products and routine and how often I self-tan, all of that is in that video. And again, it's current. I just did it last week. Moving on to hair, I do have some gray, and I really could probably go about every 4 weeks to cover my gray, but I stretch it to 5. So I get a color, cut, and style every 5 weeks. And again, I schedule that next appointment when I'm there or the next 2. I have been going to the same hairstylist for, it'll be 26 years in October. Believe it or not, no one else has ever done my hair. It'll be 26 years. I do have videos with her that talk about my cut, my color, all of that. I'll have those videos linked. But I go every 5 weeks for color, cut, and style. Now, if I want to add in highlights, I always make sure I make that decision when I'm booking my next appointment. And I would say if I'm doing something like that, I wait till every third time that I go. So that would be like every 15 weeks. If I go every 5 weeks, it would be every 15 weeks. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I wait until spring and summer and lighten up a little bit. I did book doing some added highlights in my next appointment when I go in June. So that's kind of how that works. Hair mask or deep condition, I would say about every third wash. And remember, I don't wash my hair very often. So I go every probably 4 to 5 days between washes. So I would say about every third time I will put on more of a hydrating or nourishing mask. I love this one by Garnier. I will have it linked. I talk about it all the time. That's been my favorite lately, but I always have a couple that have been sent to me that I'm trying out as well. So I'll link a couple hair masks that I do like. The other thing I want to mention is because I go so long between washes, I change my pillowcase every time I wash my hair. So I have a whole stack of pillowcases in the drawer, in the side table next to my bed. In that drawer, I have a whole stack of pillowcases. So I just always know on hair washing days, I put a fresh pillowcase on because I wash our sheets probably every 2 to 3 weeks. So obviously then my pillowcase would get changed. Let's move on to skincare. I'm a heavy hitter with skincare. You know, I have an aggressive routine. I just really have a great routine, and I really believe it makes a huge difference. AM and PM religiously. I don't deviate from that. You know, I may deviate from some things. I may slack on dry brushing, or I may slack on exfoliating the body. Some of those things, self-tanning, I may slack, but I don't ever slack on skincare. I would go without makeup before I would go without doing my skincare routine. So I would say that's my biggest priority is skincare. I shave my face, which I have a video on. I'll have that linked below as well. And I shave my face about once a week. I will put what I'm currently using to shave because I think I was using the Twinkles or whatever, Twinklers in that. I really just like using a razor. But if you want to know more about face shaving, watch the video because how I do it, when I do it, that's all the same. And I think I also talk about the brows, which I do have microblading done, but because of all the skincare that I use, they're kind of faded. That's a big upkeep if you use skincare like I do. Masking is big for me. Once a week is mandatory. Sometimes I will do twice a week. That's another area I just don't slack in. My LED light therapy, I really try to do that once a week, but I'll admit that I do slack in that area at times as well. And I'll put the videos where I talk about the LED light therapy below, but I love that. People will ask me, do I really recommend it? I do. I think it all makes a difference. I mean, it's hard to say it's one thing. I think it's a matter of doing like everything, but I think it's just being aggressive about it. I think it really makes the biggest difference. So, and I just recently did a video sharing my skincare journey, like my whole childhood, teen years, and then what my skincare routine is now and my favorite products. Those are all new videos. Those will be linked as well. You can get to at least one of them by clicking up here. Let's talk about skin care procedures and treatments, because I am a heavy hitter in this area as well, and this is going to be very splurgy. I would say that I'm in a phase in my life now. I wasn't always in this season. I spend a lot of money on my skincare with products, procedures, treatments. I do. That's where I put my money. Some women put their extra money towards clothing, accessories. Some women like to have a nice car and they have a hefty car payment. I do not. We all have our thing. There's no right or wrong where you put your extra money. But I don't put my extra money where many women do. I'm not a shopper. I don't like a lot of things. I'm not a makeup hoarder. Skincare, it's really the skin, and it's the treatments and procedures. I will admit I spend a lot of money a year at my med spa. No shame, really, that's where I put my money. I do hydrofacial. I have a video I talk about all the time. I think I even have something in an Instagram stories on hydrofacial. I do hydrofacial every 4 weeks religiously, and I upgrade and use the growth factor. Yes, you pay a lot for that growth factor, but I purchased this at a special that is offered at my med spa twice a year. I purchased this at one of the 2 times of the year that they offer this special. I purchased the whole year. It's a lot of money, but I save a lot of money by doing so. And when you budget the way I do, I always have that money. I always have thousands of dollars that I can put into something because I've saved up to take advantage of those specials. So, you know, budgeting is huge, and I budget for this big time. Moving on to Botox, I do that about every 4 months. What I do is when I go in to get my hydrofacial done at about the 4-month mark, I will have one of the nurses in there, or the owner, Tracy, just kind of take a look. She'll just have me sit in her chair. She'll take a look, and she may say, let's schedule it for your next appointment, or she may say, let's wait, 6 weeks. Because I'm in there every other week, and we'll get into that a little bit more. So hydrofacial at the med spa is every 4 weeks. And then if I need some fillers, I tie it in when I'm already there for hydrofacial or lashes, which we'll get into lashes. I do cheeks once a year, and then I do lips about every 4 months. And I don't do a lot in the lips. I have, and I just didn't like that as much. It's more just like lifting that upper line, giving a little pop. I like those 2 little points to have a little pop with them. And once in a while in between, we'll hit those 2 spots too. So I'm always having them look and see where I'm at and what I need tweaking with. When you go to a med spa religiously, they get to know you, they know what you like, and you can, it's a great relationship. There's no better way to put it. I would recommend building a relationship to any of you that are on a maintenance program, which I am. Let's move on to beauty and nails. I tweeze my brows when I do my makeup. So if I see a hair, I tweeze. If I see 2 or 3, I tweeze then. If I do my makeup 2 days later and I see something, I tweeze. So I'm constantly tweezing. I shave my face about once a week, and lash fills I do every 2 to 3 weeks. So that explains kind of the med spa appointments. I will do my lash fill, and then 2 weeks later, it'll be lash fill and hydrofacial. And then 2 weeks later, lash fill, 2 weeks later, lash fill, hydrofacial. And again, during those times is when I'll pop in, have the owner, Tracy, check me, or Landra, the nurse, whoever, say, does it look like I need my Botox? What do you think? And then if I do need to schedule any type of injectables or the Botox, I will schedule that for one of the times that I get my lashes done on my hydrofacial. For my nails, I do acrylic fill. These are my nails, but I do acrylic over top with shellac, and I go every 2 to 2.5 weeks. I could go 3, but I don't like the growth. But I'm loving shellac, but I have to do acrylic, otherwise the polish won't stay on. So I have no issues with it. It works for me, but they are my nails. Sometimes people go, are those your nails? Yes, they're my nails. They have acrylic on them, but I don't have tips or anything. I want to just chime in. Make sure you're washing your makeup brushes. I wash my beauty sponge, which I'll have linked below. It's not the beauty blender. It's one by, I think, Sonia Kashuk or something, but I'll link it. I wash that every time I do my makeup. And I also wash my concealer, my under eye concealer brush. So if it's anything that is put in a liquid, it gets washed every time I use it, every day. But keep up with washing your makeup brushes. I think it's very important. You younger girls are really bad at that. Make the time. Schedule it in. I schedule everything. Teeth whitening. I just did a video on teeth whitening. You can get to that video up here or in the drop down box as well. I do it daily and I talk about the process in there. I do it daily, and then once a week I do an extra step, but I'm not going to go into that here because it's all in that video. I get my teeth cleaned every 6 months. I added that in. And then a couple little added things that have to do with beauty, self-care, whatever, is I work out 5 days a week, and that's cardio and weights. So 5 days a week religiously, year-round. There's never an off-season. I mean, once in a while if I'm on vacation, I'll go a little bit longer. In fact, we are leaving today to be gone for the long weekend. I won't get a workout in for the next 3 days. So I probably won't get as many in maybe next week. Who knows? Usually it's 5 days per week unless it's, you know, once in a blue moon because of a vacation. I'm also on a walking program. I walk spring to fall 3 to 4 nights per week with my daughter, Kirsten, my oldest daughter. And we walk between 4 and 5 miles. And that's just, it's like a program. We call it our walking program, spring to fall. Supplements daily, and I do have videos talking about that. They'll be linked. Here, I put an example with my walking. So I walked 14 times in April. So that's an example because I do, you know, I track everything. I'll link my planner below as well because the habit tracker is in there. But 14 times in April. So yeah, supplements are daily. I have videos on that. I do a 3-day fast, generally quarterly, and that's a fast. It's a water fast. So no food, no supplements, nothing. I have videos on fasting, intermittent fasting, prolonged fasting, you name it, they'll all be linked. You're going to have a lot of videos to choose from. I just recently started incorporating a 3-day juice cleanse, and I'm going to be trying to do that quarterly. And I shared on Instagram stories. If you go to my Instagram story called Vibe Well, I share my first and only that I've done so far 3-day juice cleanse, and I'm getting ready to do another one. So that wasn't bad at all. Physical, I go annually. Mammogram, I go annually. I'm very religious about that. I talk about all of that in a lot of my videos. I have perimenopause videos, you name it. Check out everything in my library. Make sure you're subscribed. Tell women about me. There's not a lot. There's some great YouTube out there, don't get me wrong, but I don't feel really with every area that I hit, there's really a lot out there. I do think it kind of sets me apart. So tell women about me, and whoever the person was that recommended this video, thank you. I thought it was awesome. It was fun. I wish other YouTubers would do it because I don't watch much YouTube, and I certainly don't watch much in the beauty department, but this would interest me to watch from some of the women that I used to watch their videos. So all right, thanks for joining me, and have a great weekend. It's a long weekend. It's Memorial Day weekend. So anyway, we will see you next Monday on YouTube. All right, take care. Have a good one.